The head of U.S. diplomacy chose her words carefully.
We were encouraged by the apparent agreement between the Roman Catholic Church and the authorities in Cuba for the release of 52 political prisoners. I spoke late last night with the Spanish Foreign Minister, Minister Moratinos, and we welcome this. We think that's a positive sign. It's something that is overdue, but nevertheless very welcome.
The White House has been holding immigration talks with a Cuban delegation, and Congress is considering a bill that will lift the travel ban for Americans to the island and will ease some sales rules on the agricultural sector.
The
Cuban government is very aware of what happens in Washington. I think they have a very accurate view of what's happening and the real possibilities here. They know if, because national security reasons, they change their politics and release political prisoners, it would have an impact here.
The State Department says it was aware of the progress of the negotiations between the Catholic Church and the Cuban government. Analysts point out the importance of these outcomes as a product of a national dialogue with no foreign intervention. And organizations critical of the Cuban government doubt this will help Cuba clean its image after the death of one dissident on a hunger strike and critical health conditions of Guillermo Fariñas, who announced the temporary suspension of his hunger strike after learning of the Cuban move.
To clean its image, one, they would have to free more than 100 political prisoners. Some of them had been jailed 10, 15 years. They would have to allow the International Committee of the Red Cross to visit Cuba. They would have to give the Cubans in Cuba the same rights and privileges that foreigners have in my country.
Some believe it is a good opportunity.
Those of us who have criticized the practices of the Cuban government have to be ready to act to positive signs. If we're going to wait for Cuba to change radically, totally, we'll have to wait 50 years or more, and American influence will continue to be weak.
And although some suggested this could create spaces for improving relations with Cuba, there is still a thorny issue: the detention of Alan Gross, an American contractor held in Havana since December on suspicion of espionage. Analysts believe without his release, it will be little to no change. Molinares, CNN, Washington.